What's up, everybody? This is Kieran and Reese, so as known as the Obsessed Compulsive Gamer, O.C.G, and hopefully I'm live with Resident Evil 4 Remake. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, last time when I played this game for my Resident Evil Marathon for RE9, this was back in like January, I almost got 100% complete on this and the DLC, but I missed a couple things in the DLC. Uh, and I was so burned out by playing all these Resident Evil games back to back to back that I just like, I'm not going to do the DLC over again. And that always bothered me because I had done the whole base game to 100%, and then the DLC was the only thing left, and then I basically chickened out at the last bit. So I decided to start over and get 100% for the main game of the DLC again. And this time it shouldn't be that much of a bother because, like I said, it wasn't that I disliked the game, it was just that I was burnt out from doing every single RE game in a row. This was the last game that I played, so like before 9. So by the end of this, I was just burnt out. Wasn't the game. You know what I mean? I love this game. I love this remake. This is arguably one of the best remakes ever made. Or one of the best games ever made. Uh, but I intend to fully get 100% for the game and the DLC. And then, as for going for the plat, I'm not sure. We'll see. They want you to go through it using only handguns and knives. They want you to go through it without talking. They want you to go through it with only handguns and knives. They want you to go through it uh, without talking to the merchant. Just some stuff that just honestly it's not very fun. Being the hardest difficulty is one thing, man, but like restricting you to handguns and knives is just kind of lame. And plus, I had to get video of this. For my remake series anyway, Alex, so I needed to go start over anyway. What's up? Alright, love you, bye. I'll be in a sec. Normally, I have the field of view, I leave the field of view alone. But with this game, I zoom in a little bit more to emphasize the over shoulder. Yeah, I think this is the normal, yeah. There's not a number, so I don't know what the number is. But I know that right there is the standard. But I zoom it in because this is the V behind the shoulder game, so. I always turn off damage display because the game literally has a health bar that tells you when you're about to die. Don't turn on hair strands. It actually makes his hair look worse. It's supposed to be more detailed, but I swear it makes it look worse. And it actually takes performance for some reason. There you go, why I don't turn on ray tracing. You get slightly better reflections, but it's really not worth it for the massive hit to frame rate you're going to get. I always do yellow and red for the subtitles because it sticks out well to me. Yellow and red sticks out on any background. Alright, give me 1 second. Oh, I'm getting it. Look at that belly. Look at the proof. Oh. My parents have some food to give me. I'll be right back. They actually had a really cool cut opening to this game. They don't talk about it in a second. I'll explain more in a bit. People were able to go through the game files and find out there was a cut opening. I hope one day you're able to restore it. For fans. I understand why they cut the opening. Yeah, you'll see. And then we're getting and then we'll give it to you.
September 30th, 1998. It's a day I'll never forget. The cop inside me died that day. And that night, Raccoon City was wiped out, thanks to the bioweapons created by Umbrella. Somehow I made it out. Too many others weren't so lucky. I was asked later to join a top-secret government program. Not that I had a choice. The training, punishing missions, nearly killed me. But at least I kept my mind off everything. If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain, even for a second. This time, it can be different. It has to.
My name is Dream.
So tell me.
Give me 1 second. Sorry. Went down the wrong pipe. I'm sure you had that happen. Jesus. Okay. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 take place roughly around the same time period, but they overlap. The first half of Resident Evil 3 is before 2. It's like September 28th, September 27th, few days before Resident Evil 2. So, like, you go to the police station, it's before Leon gets there. However, Jill gets infected by Nemesis and goes into a coma, and you have to play as Carlos, and you have to save her, and roughly a week goes by where she's in a coma. So the second half of RE3 is after 2. Let me look up the exact days. So 3 is both a prequel and a sequel to 2. And you actually get to see how you create you actually get to see how a bunch of stuff in the police station happens in 3. And the remake of 3, they actually tied the 2 together a lot more. People will bitch about the remake of 3 because it cut content, although the game is still good. I still like the 3rd remake. Got a million new. But one thing they don't bitch about is the story. Most people will universally agree the story in the remake was much better. The original RE3 connected to 2 very sloppily. But in the remake, they tie together much better. So, like, there's a wall that's broken open and exploded with steam pouring through in Resident Evil 2. When you play Resident Evil 3, you find out that Carlos is the one who did that by planting a detonation charge on the wall. You see a guy collapsed in the hall in the police station in 2, and his face is split open right here. You see that guy dying in Resident Evil 3. Hey, go. I should fucking answer. In Resident Evil 2, as you saw me play the start of 2, Marvin says, no matter what, you do not hesitate. You shoot them if you see them. He said, that was my mistake. In Resident Evil 3, you actually see how Marvin gets injured. The injury that eventually kills him in 2. Because his friend Brad was a zombie, and he was going to shoot Brad, and then Brad said, sorry, and talked. So he's like, wait a minute, did you just talk? And then when he hesitated, Brad bit him on the stomach right here, and that's where it kills him. So they literally explain and show how Marvin got injured, the injury that killed him. And what he meant when he said, don't hesitate, that was my mistake. And I love shit like that. Hold on. Yeah. The first half of the game is about 2 days before Resident Evil 2. But then she goes into a coma for about 5 days and wakes up on October 1st. So yeah, the first half of the game is before RE2 and the second half is after. Because obviously if you play RE2, they get out of the city, you don't see the bombing of the city. That happens like 2 days later. And obviously, if that had happened while Jill was there, Leon and Claire would have been fucking vaporized.
Yankee, why did you come to this horrible place? As close to nowhere that I've ever seen.
I would say RE is probably my favorite game series of all time. My shit fucking ass discovered you sit deal. Now, granted, in position because I like a lot of game series. So maybe it'll be number 2, maybe it'll be number 3, but it's always in the top 5. You know, because sometimes, like I would say, I like Zelda is my favorite series, but always I would say Resident Evil is probably my favorite game series of all time. I like pretty much every Resident Evil game. There's a couple that I like more than others, obviously, but I don't think there's any bad main Resident Evil games. Even the worst Resident Evil 6, still a good shooter. People hate RE6 because it was a bad Resident Evil game, but it's actually a great third-person shooter. Like, if you go into it expecting, like, an Uncharted-like game, or, like, a third-person Call of Duty, you're going to have a good time.
Let's just say, looking for someone.
That someone must be very important, huh? The chief gave the orders himself. Help him, he said.
I'm sure your boys didn't come all the way out here to roast marshmallows. Maybe you did.
You have a strange sense of humor. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Just between us. A lot of people have gone missing around here. And it's been that way for a while now.
Well then, should be just another day in the office, right?
I mean, last week there was a search for some missing hikers.
I'm sure you'll do your best to help me.
This game makes some really cool changes to the story that I really like. But they actually would have made even more changes. They're now finding out footage of a cut opening. Well, gameplay. Because, see, the original RE4 starts out with that short introduction where it's like, it's 6 years ago. I'll never forget that day. And then he tells you about Umbrella, bada bada bing, and then it shows him coming into the village. You see the police officers, then he goes into the house and he's chasing the village. Then you have the standoff with the villagers. And then you have to hold out, and then it's like, oh, where's everybody going? Bingo! Now, already the opening, they tried to make this game scarier. People complained that the original RE4 had too much action in it. RE4 is when they tried to have a balance of action and horror. And I think for the most part they had a good balance of action and horror in 4. Some places it goes overboard. And then 5 and 6 kind of skewed the balance. And they needed to get it back. I think 4 was good. But some people thought that 4 didn't have enough horror. So they wanted to increase the horror in the remake. But they didn't want to remove anything that people knew and loved about the original. So instead of taking the horror and replacing the action parts, they added more horror on top. I'm just trying to eat this. Oh, it's warm. There we go.
I think this is it. Nature calls, huh? I'll be right back.
So what they added doesn't come at the expense of what's already there. It's on top.
¿Te has bebido el bar entero? You smoke?
Yeah. It's part of Spain, actually. It takes place in a fictional province of Spain called Villa de Lobos, Valley of the Wolves. And obviously it's fictional, but it's composite of many Spanish countries. They took inspiration from many different Spanish areas.
Vaya sitio más tétrico. ¡Hey! ¿Hay alguien ahí?
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, they're too busy making games set in New York.
He sure is taking his time. Did he fall in? Maybe you better go and take a look. Oh, watch the car. Wouldn't want to get a parking ticket.
So much for helping me.
So, see, this is a perfect example of what I meant when I said they added on horror. This area is similar to the original area that you started, but instead of being set in broad daylight, it's set in the middle of the woods at dawn, so it's dark and mysterious. So functionally, they keep the premise the same. They just add a healthy heaping of horror on top. Well, they have a more dynamic part. They have more dynamic time of day in the remake. In the original, I'm going to say the first chapter. Most of the first chapter was okay. Like the first half of the game. Oh, no. Okay. The first half of chapter 1 is set during the day. Then Leon passes out and it's nighttime. Because the original game has 5 chapters, split into sections. 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. And then it's nighttime until the very end of the game, in which case the sun comes up. In this remake, they did away with the sub-chapters. Now there's just like 16 chapters. It's easier to keep track of, I guess, than 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is actually much longer overall, so don't be confused by the fact they removed the subsections. I would say they probably made this remake twice as big as the original game. But they greatly expanded the day and night cycle in this game. Because you start off before the sun is risen, and then the sun doesn't rise until you get to the village center, and then it's bright morning. Then it goes to mid-afternoon, and then there's a whole chapter set at sunset. Then it's nighttime. So they actually added a lot more to the day-night cycle in this game. And there's actually... What I mean when I said that, like, they added stuff over the top is there's actually not a bunch of entirely new areas in this game. There is... I'm trying to figure out the way to put it. Even though this game is about twice the size of the original game, I would say overall, there's not that many new areas. Instead, they took every area and they made it bigger. And it had more shit in it. And, like, see this area? In the original game, this area right here was just a generic village hut. It looked the same as every other building in the village, and it had nothing different than any other building. In the remake, this is a unique area called the Hunting Lodge that doesn't ever pop up ever again.
Anyone home?
Judgment is nigh. Oh, that's a great cross. And this is the scene I was talking about, where the actor being Spanish comes in. The actor who's played Leon in every game since RE2 Remake, his name is Nick Apostolades. Apostolades? However you say it, it's Spanish. I apologize about my pronunciation if it's wrong. Either way, he's Spanish. Comes from a Spanish background. So there's a scene here when Leon asks the villager something. He hears the villager speak Spanish because they all speak Spanish. And then he asks him a question in Spanish. And that was not in the original game. And that was not supposed to be in this game. But he said, well, Leon is such a cool guy, he would probably know multiple languages, and I know Spanish, so let me ask him a question in Spanish. And he got that added to the game. And from what I understand, Nick is a super cool dude. Like, people say he's, like, super friendly to the fans. He goes to conventions. Like, everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite character in the series. Like, not just for, you know, being Leon, of course, but also because, like, he seems like a super cool dude.
Sorry to barge in like this. Busco a un Felicia. ¿Vino aquí?
And see, in the original game, you literally enter one area. Yeah. Oh, don't worry, you're gonna find out. Shit, yeah. I'm having a little bit of stick drift. Eh, it's no biggie. I'll correct it. It's probably just dirt. It's a minor stick drift. I see, now it's gone. It was when I pressed down, it would keep moving. Let's do it 4 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Oh well, I'm getting a new controller. Probably by the end of this month. I'm gonna get a black DualSense. And you're gonna find both of their bodies. Yeah, see, now it's not doing it. Yeah, see, but then it is on the map. What the fuck? I'll clean it later.
Hey.
¡Contesta, necesito apoyo!
I read you.
¿Quién soy?
What's your situation?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Although, honestly, I would make the case. Yeah, see, it's really inconsistent about when it does it. Oh well. Like I said, I'll clean it. It's not that bad. So I'll knock on wood. And thankfully, you don't push. It only happens when I push down. Honestly, in most games, you're not pushing down a whole lot. So, honestly, this guy had it coming. And the reason is, he had just told Leon that they had a lot of missing people pop up in these woods. And it even said 2 hikers disappeared just last week. So he goes off by himself to investigate a suspicious sound without getting backup. Like, I'm sorry, you had that coming, dude. You literally knew that people were going missing in this place. You hear a suspicious sound in the dark woods, and you don't even tell your people who are literally right fucking there.
What was that? No fucking way. This just keeps getting worse.
See, that door was hidden before. Right? See, Leon being smart again. Once again, what does he do? He immediately barricades the fucking door.
Bruce, this is Condor 1.
Hunnigan here. What's your sit rep?
The President's daughter, Baby Eagle. It's likely she's in this village.
Our intel was correct then. Well done.
Need a location on a nearby lake. She may have been taken there.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find.
Hurry up.
Something's happened to the people here. My escorts are... Gotta go. Talk later. I'll let myself out.
Right? See, in the original game, this was a generic building. You walked in, got attacked, and hopped out. The sequence was over in like 30 seconds. They added it being a unique area, the Hunter's Lodge. They added the basement. They added the police officer being found there. They added him being ambushed. Like, literally, it was a generic house that you spent maybe 30 seconds in. They added literally almost everything you saw in that sequence. That's what I'm talking about. They took an area that was a generic area in the original that you ran for 30 seconds, turned it into a unique location to start the game off. And just about every single area they made bigger like that. So they made the game like twice the size of the original, but rather than adding in a bunch of new areas, they expanded everything that was already there, which I actually think was a good decision. And then, because I got the deluxe edition, I have extra weapons. The Skull Shaker shotgun, which is like a smaller shotgun that you revolve. You actually shake it and turn it when you spin it, like Terminator 2 style, basically. I'm not going to get that one just yet. I will, however, get the Sentinel 9. This weapon is much better than your standard handgun, and you can put a laser sight on it, and it's actually his gun from Resident Evil 6. And they allow you to customize the case and add keychains to it. And I'm not getting it right now because getting the shotgun early would kind of ruin the thing that's going right now. See, now the sun's coming out. You can always also keep one in the chamber for each gun, which I think is really cool. Another nice touch they added. In the original RE4, you had a generic knife to start with. In the remake, this knife, for me personally, I'm going to say 7. That's highly subjective, and there are other games that I think are very scary. I think out of the classic RE games, 3, because Nemesis never stops chasing you and he's random. But I think 7 is probably the scariest for me personally. There's parts in 7 that really fucked me up. And after 6 was not scary at all, they knew that 7 had to be scary, so they made it extra scary on purpose. But anyway, in the original game, this was a generic knife. In the remake, this is actually his knife from RE2. That Marvin gave him, meaning he hung on to this whole time. Yeah. See, it's only in one specific direction. I think I can fix that. I don't think that's a major drift. I think that's dirt. I don't think that's a major thing. After I end this stream, I'll take a look at it. I don't think it's a major deal. Like, there's massive stick drift. Marvin was a great guy. There's massive stick drift, and then there's a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, this is manageable. I think this is just dust. There's a lot of dust in my room, and then also my cat. I get cat hair on my controller. I can't tell my cat to fuck off. But I'm always having to clean cat hair, and there's always a chance that some of it gets stuck, you know what I mean? But it's minor, so I think I can fix it just cleaning it out a little bit gently. Yeah, you can finish enemies on the ground now. I fucking love that. You can take them out with a knife. And now you can pretty much parry every attack with the knife. One of my favorite things they added to the remake. The knife parries are fucking sick. Ah, God, fucking bear traps. It's actually something they added specifically because of, they promised themselves they were not going to cut anything out of the original RE4. Especially because people bitch that they cut stuff out of RE3. So, like, okay, for 4, they're not full zombified. They have a modicum of human intelligence. They have the Plagas inside them, the Lost Plagas. It's a parasite, but it allows them to keep it allows them to keep a certain amount of thinking. So, like, they can do basic tasks. Farming, eating, drinking. They can think. They just aren't going to write fucking poetry. So yeah, they're technically a lot smarter than Raccoon City zombies. Oh, I saw that fucker. Whatever. And I love how, literally, if you come up to a wall or another enemy, he actually pulls the gun back. Yeah, and you can see they have dead heads on the door. And actually, one of them falls off when you open the door. And see, now that I made it to the village center, now it's bright daylight. And they also made the opening more metal, because originally they took one of the police officers died back there in the cabin, and then the other one, they put him up on a bonfire and killed him. But he's already dead. In the remake, you actually see it happen. See them light him on fire while he's still alive. And they added some light stealth to the remake. Originally, there's no such thing as stealth. You would get it spotted instantly. But there's actually several spots in the remake where you can actually pick off a couple enemies silently. Now, this is not Dishonored. This is not Dishonored. You're not going to be able to go full stealth. But now there's a bunch of times in this game where you can take out a couple of enemies non-lethally. Or, I'm sorry, not non-lethally. Stealthily first. Basically, you can't do a whole encounter without getting seen. But it's basically like you're thinning out the herd a little bit before you get down to the nitty-gritty. And it's totally optional, once again. That's what I mean when I said that they kept adding stuff to the remake. Everything they added was meant to go on top of what's already there. You can go stealth if you want to, a little bit, and thin them out. Like, see this chick right here in the original game? She instantly discovers you. It just gives you more options how you play. You're still gonna get caught. You're still gonna have the village shootout at the beginning. But now you have the choice. Do I go in guns blazing or do I kind of thin them out a little bit before shit gets real? And I was like to thin them out a little bit because, that's just smart to me. Shit. And see, you can see there's a guy pulling a cart barrel back there. Guy's grabbing water. They're praying at the bonfire. Guys fucking with a hay bale. Like, they are capable of rudimentary tasks. They are farmers. That's kind of crazy. I didn't even know that you can't even shoot the guy. Honestly, at that point, though, that would have been a mercy killing. I'm gonna wait until that bitch comes back this way. She's easier to kill if she goes that way. And, that's kind of the main pivot that this game made. Doing okay? They specifically thought, with this game, okay, we can't do zombies forever. Zombies will eventually go out of style. So that was the big risk that they took with this game, was not doing zombies. And that's when they settled on Los Plagas. Yeah, I know it's Matt. I know it's you, dude. Because they wanted enemies that were smarter than zombies, but they didn't want them using guns or shit like that. So they did the Los Plagas who are capable of rudimentary tasks. And now if you try to go this way, you get instantly spotted. Because they knew people would try to, sneak around and skip, so... Like I said, you can't fully stealth this. They still wanted to have the iconic village shit at the beginning. They just want to give you more options on how you approach this situation. But, like, the opening shootout in this game is so famous that people would have had their ass. They didn't fucking include it. But I always try to get everything I can before shit goes tits up. Plus, you're also going to see something really fucking sick. They have this amazing fucking transition into a cutscene here in a second. Honestly, one of the sickest transitions into a cutscene I've ever seen. When you go to enter the cabin over here. Well, you'll see. And see, people in the original game, one of the strategies... Ah, shit. One of the strategies that people would use in the original game was they would climb up this tower right here, and they would just sit here. And they thought that was boring. So they added a surprise for people who tried to do that in the remake. Which I think is funny. Right here. Like, goddamn, that was such a smooth transition into a cutscene, man. Yeah, I'll keep the shotgun where it is. Yeah, okay, it hurt me too. It was worth it. Oh, shit, I can't. That's the number one thing you don't want to do. Oh, I killed him. You actually don't have to kill him to survive. You just have to wait a certain amount of time or kill a certain amount of villagers. But if you kill him, you get a rare treasure that you can't get otherwise. So you want to kill him before the time runs out. You get that emerald. Like I said, that's what this game does that's super well. They really give you the ball-to-the-wall, pain-shitting terror. Ah, there we go. La campana. The bell. The bell is similar to their holy order. They're told, they have it programmed in them, if you hear the bell, you come to the church. And you find out later on that Ada is the one who rung that bell to save Leon's ass. Tenemos la campana. Un parastello. Ainda. La mátalo.
Todopoderoso.
Ah. That's funny. And then, okay, so this game, almost better than any other game I've ever played, captures the feeling, that ball-to-the-wall feeling. Of, oh my god, they're breaking in. They're coming. I'm overwhelmed. Like that. That's what this game does. That's their idea of terror. Is. And how they try to keep it scary. In Resident Evil, you know, it's slow zombies approaching. You know, oh my god, I'm surrounded. I have limited ammunition. Where in this game, it's less about running out of ammunition and more about being fucking overwhelmed. Oh my god, there's 20 of them, they're breaking in the windows, they're coming up the stairs, they're throwing fucking pitchforks at me. And I find that to be incredibly compelling. And that, to me, is still scary. So I think in a lot of ways, RE4 is action horror, but it's still horror. It's still spooky to me. That's tense as shit to me. And I think a good comparison would be, you know, like, the regular Resident Evil games are like Night of the Living Dead. This is like 28 Days Later. Both are zombie movies, but they approach it in very different ways. Oh, and this game has just the right amount of cheese.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
They never overdo it, in my opinion. Where's everybody going? Bingo, like right after an incredibly tense situation. It's just the right amount of cheese.
Roost to Condor 1.
Shit, hold on.
I've identified a route to the lake. Look for a large windmill.
Fuck.
There's a
There's a
path on the
feature-
far side of it.
Windmill. Copy that.
And be careful.
Where you can have the comms come through the controller speaker, but I fucking hate that. I don't ever fuck with the controller speaker. That's why you didn't hear her dialogue, because it would have came through the speaker where mine's permanently muted. I just find it cheesy and it's very low quality. And you also can't hear it very well in the stream. I just forgot to turn it off. And that, to me, is honestly one of the best openings to any game ever. I really have to say. There's a bunch of shit to mop up here in the village before I move on. And there's so many different ways that this encounter could have played out. If you have the chainsaw guy after you and you run past here, he will actually take the chainsaw and use this to cut this down and corner you. Just a totally optional thing you can obviously miss. Which I think is really cool. And wasn't in the original game. Or you could have alternatively tried to make your stand here. This village kind of lets you do what you want to. That's what I mean. You just go like, hey, survive. But as far as like introductions to a video game goes, it's pretty much fucking perfect. I honestly think that Resident Evil 4's opening might be one of the best openings of all time. But anyway, okay, so now I can kind of talk about what I meant when I said they cut an opening. So they already expanded the opening of the game. You saw the hunting lodge, the basement, all that shit. That was already not there. Originally, however, they were just going to be the opening of the game would have had Ashley. On the cover of the game, you literally see Leon sitting like this, like with his head down, and then you see Ashley walking in the woods. And then in the first trailers for the game, they showed Ashley running in the woods. And many people like me wondered what the fuck happened there because there's never a scene with Ashley running in the woods. Well, people who data mine games actually data mined Resident Evil for the remake and found out that there was originally supposed to be a different beginning. A longer beginning. It would have started with Ashley right after she's kidnapped. And it would have had you running in the woods as Ashley. And a path made specifically for it. Like, there's a whole video, I'll share it with you. And then she would have been chased by the villagers. You would have had to run. And then she would have stumbled into them killing that chick with the axe. Because you remember when you started the game, you see them doing that ritual and then chopping that chick. And that scene is the only thing that remains from the original game, the original opening. And the reason they did that is because you find that girl's body later. The chick that they killed on that altar. And if you didn't see that scene at the beginning with them killing her, you'd have been like, what the fuck is this? So they had to keep that one scene. But it would have been Ashley running in the woods until she found them in that altar killing that bitch. And then they would have kidnapped her, and then it would have came to the beginning, you know. And I think they chose to get rid of it because maybe they wanted to be more faithful, or maybe they just felt like it would have taken you too long to get to the action, and they didn't want to lose people's interest. But I gotta be honest, I kind of liked that opening, and I kind of actually would have preferred if that opening had stayed in the final cut. Because you don't run into Ashley until Chapter 5. Not that you run into her much later in the original game anyway. So it would have given Ashley an early scene. And it would have given that whole ritual scene that you saw more precedence. Because, obviously, you see it in the game, but... And then you see her later and like, oh, that's the chick they killed. But it doesn't have the significance it would have had if you had stumbled on the ritual and seen it as Ashley. And then you were like, oh shit. And it would have given Ashley like more scenes in the game. And it would have obviously let you play as Ashley before coming as Leon. So I can understand why they cut it. I guess they were trying to be more faithful, and they were trying to make it so you could get into the action sooner. And they did already make the opening longer. Already. It's longer than it was in the original game with more shit. Like I said, the hunting lodge, the basement. That was one incredibly small building that takes you 30 seconds in the original game. But yeah, I really, really would have preferred that opening, honestly. To see Ashley in the beginning, so it's a shame. Especially because it always bothered me. Like I said, when they first showed the trailer, you see Ashley running in the woods, and that was from that sequence. It's on the cover of the game, but it's not technically in the game. That kind of irks me a little bit. But it's just a cool thing, and you can thank data miners, because we always expected that it was probably cut from the game, but we didn't have proof until they were actually able to retrieve parts of it, not the whole sequence, but they were actually able to show the area on the map, because it was marked in the game files, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And there's even a reference to it later, because when you first find Ashley in the church, in like chapter 5, she has a Motorola flip phone, and it's broken, and she's like, man, I just got that. Because remember, this game is set in 2004. Flip phones were like, the Razors were all the rage. It's like a Motorola Razor. So that's because she would have had the phone, and she would have been trying to use the phone, and one of the villagers would have grabbed the phone and stomped on it. So that finding the phone later and seeing it broken was a reference to that. You can actually find Ashley's phone in the game. But you would have seen them break it originally because she was trying to call emergency services, which actually also makes Ashley not seem stupid, because she actually did, what you would hope to do. Oh, hey, I'm trapped in the woods. 911? And this is a perfect example. Well, you'll see. So,
There it is.
this farm, you explore this farm in the original game. And it has the building here, the hut here. Everything you see here is in the original game, except for that windmill. They added this massive windmill that you explore. Like right here. And that's what I mean. They kept all the areas that you would expect, but they made them added to each one of them. And that's another thing I really like about this game. You have a limited amount of storage. Even with you can gradually get bigger cases to include more guns, but you can never have all the guns. They came up with a nice compromise, because some people wanted to be able to have all the guns for completion's sake. You can't hold all the guns at once, but you can, however, store any gun you're not using. Which means you still have to ration your space. You still can't have every gun, but you can technically own every gun. And I actually like that change a lot in the remake. This ability to store guns was not in the original game. So technically you can have all the guns on one file. I think that's really cool. And here's my opportunity to show you this shotgun. See? Flicks it around Terminator 2 style. And it's not as powerful as the regular shotgun, but you can also see it takes up much less space in the inventory. So it's kind of like a cool alternative to the shotgun. Like, I mean, it takes like a quarter of the space. And that was a deluxe edition weapon. I mean, it's not anything like, oh my god, the game is not complete without it, but it's a cool bonus. Plus, you get Leon's, pistol from RE6. Oh yeah, I think I remember about that. I think they actually wound up nerfing that. That's funny. And see, yeah, there's a quest to shoot. In the original game, you would get a notice from the merchant to shoot down 10 of these blue symbols, and you would get a free gun. And then you get the Punisher. That's actually a good picture. I like the light shining through the trees. They really highlight how it's the start of the day in this first chapter. See, this windmill was not there. Everything else was. And that's what I mean. They took everything that was great about the game and then they added to it. This windmill is cool as shit. But in the original game, you would get a notice from the merchant saying if you got 10 blue medallions, you would get a gun, and if you got 15, the gun would get an upgrade. In this game, they broke it down into 5 in each location, and instead you get merchant points. There are certain side quests the merchant has you do, and he gives you unique weapons you can only get there. And it's actually really cool. It's all stuff they added. All the side quests are new. They actually added a lot of cool stuff. They're not just filler. So you have to shoot this. If it falls in the water, it turns into a dirty pocket watch. Or dirty pendant. And in the original game, they had like a trick. You would find something, and it would be a necklace over this. And most people would shoot the necklace to get it, and it would drop in the water, and then it would be dirty, and you had to shoot the bar behind it. Instead, now they put it on the windmill, so you have to time it. Yeah, you're going to see one of the new enemy types they added in the remake, which is fucking awesome, by the way. Well, when I get in there. See, for the love of God, will somebody please get rid of the blue medallions, these religious lunatics left hanging around? Yeah, like, people love the RE4 merchant, and I mean, I have to be honest, I think he's probably the greatest merchant of all time ever. Obviously, that's debatable, but, you know, what are you buying? What are you selling? They added, like, 3 times as many scenes in the remake with the merchant, like, dialogue. They gave the merchant a lot more dialogue, which, once again, was a good idea because everybody loved him. And it's like, he now has unique dialogue in almost every location you find him in, whereas before he mostly said the same shit no matter where you found him. That's what I love. What I love about this game. They took arguably one of the greatest games ever made. Most people will agree RE4 is just a fucking masterpiece, and they made it even better. Against all odds, to the point where I actually say I prefer this remake to the original, hands down. It's like it's not even a contest. And I love the original. Remember, I put no less than 200 hours in the original game, and I am not kidding when I tell you I have beaten the original. I'm not kidding when I tell you that I have beaten the original RE4 no less than 50 times. I have played RE4 on every system it has ever been on ever. GameCube, PS2, PS3, 360, Xbox One, PS4. Played it on Switch briefly. Did I? Maybe not Switch, but just about every system the original RE4's been on, I played it on, okay? I used to speedrun it for fun. And as a kid, I would just play it again and again and again and again. I was addicted to it. Okay? So I have beaten the original RE4 no less than 50 times. Conservatively. Hey. And yeah, they added this. In the original game, this wasn't here. You get a key to come back to increase the backtracking to make it more like classic RE games. And I thought I would like this remake. I thought that I would like this remake, but it wouldn't replace the original because I knew going into this that this was made by the RE2 remake team. So obviously, I really love the RE2 remake. They knew what they were doing. They were cooking with gas. But I thought, okay, so I'll probably really like this remake, but it probably won't replace the original. No, this is the definitive version, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, you should play the original game, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I had very high expectations for this remake, and this remake actually exceeded my expectations. Another cool thing, there are these traps right here. In the original game, you had to shoot them. They actually had the ability to walk up to them and disarm them, which I think is really cool. If you get a yellow herb and you mix it, it increases your maximum health. The best combo in the game is yellow, red, and green. It gives you full health, and then it increases your maximum health. Yeah. Well, this goes on sale. Yeah. This goes on sale often, so I'm sure you get it. But yeah, I understand. Regardless, you should play the original game anyway. It's just fucking essence. Goddamn, give me this again. Goddamn, this give me this. It's fucking essence. Goddamn, give me this again. Goddamn, this give me this again. Goddamn, this give me this again. Goddamn, this give me. Goddamn, this give me this again. Goddamn, this give me this again. And see if you zoom in on his gun, it says DSO. That's the organization he works with in RA6 for the president, the DSO. And then you see examine the firepower 5.4, 5.6. Yeah, but it only holds 2 shots to start with. Yeah. Are you talking about Borderlands 1 or Battlefield 1?
Gotta fix everything myself.
Yeah, I recently finished it myself. Was it a few months ago? Yeah, it was a few months ago. Honestly, bit of a hot take here, but I think the first Borderlands game is just okay. I'm not in love with it. I would give it like a 7. It's very clear they were still figuring out what the formula was. And I understand it was revolutionary for the time. But I don't think it's aged very well. And honestly, the jumping quality between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 is meteoric. And this is one of the new monsters they added in the remake that scared the shit out of me. They added this big dude in a fucking boar mask with a hammer. First time I played this, that scared the shit out of me, right? And they also added the ability to crouch to avoid attacks. Like I said, you have to evade. Really? I think he's dead, technically. The game count, yeah. And see, you can actually see those Plagas wriggling around after you cut off their head. It's fucking metal. Well, I just think that, like, Borderlands 2 is just so much better than the first game, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, they were kind of figuring out what Borderlands 1 was. Nobody, you know, nowadays, looter shooters are the norm. But at the time that Borderlands 1 came out, looter shooters didn't exist. The concept of an FPS game with RPG mechanics was just something that it wasn't really a thing. Oh shit, hold on. I gotta go back and get that. So they just... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I forgot to check this cabinet. I was too busy trying not to get face fucked by Hammer McGee. Oh, wait, nope. Let me whack this door to get it unlocked. For completion's sake. So they were still trying to figure out what it was. You know what I mean? Like, nobody had ever made a game like that. The concept of looter shooter was new. So, you know, and they had a really troubled development cycle. Like, they literally didn't even come up with associated visuals till the last year of development. Originally, yeah, well, my PS Plus expired. I gotta get another month. But yeah, next time I do, we can totally go through it. They were okay, so the literal, like, one of the things that we know Borderlands for, the cel-shaded art style, that was not in the game originally. The original game was not cel-shaded at all, and for like 75% of the game's life cycle, it was not cel-shaded at all. It looked like Fallout 3. It was dingy, brown, gritty, realistic. And Randy Pitchford thought, you know, all these games are doing this brown piss filter look. We need to stand out, and that's when he came up with the idea to go cel-shaded. And they wound up delaying the game to 2009. It was supposed to come out in 2008. So they didn't even add like the iconic visual style of the game until like near the end of the game. So it was very much, they were trying to find out what it was. And it was revolutionary. But it came out, I don't think it's aged very well. The story is paper thin and non-existent. There's no, very little that actually happens in the story of Borderlands 1. There's not really any villains. Like the Crimson Lance bitch pops up a little bit towards the end, but not to be a villain. And then the twist with the Vault being a monster is just fucking dumb. And they had to retroactively make that better in Borderlands 2 by saying, oh no, it caused Iridium to spawn, because otherwise, like, the ending of Borderlands 1 is such a fucking anticlimactic letdown, man. And it's like, oh, after all this time, it's this fucking generic... It's this fucking generic... boss. It's not even just the fact that it's a monster. It's not even a good one. I wouldn't even say it's the game's best boss battle. And then the game is just over. Like, the story... And there's almost no variety in the world either. All the areas look the fucking same, man. You get a very tiny little sprinkling of snow at the very end of the game, but like every area in Borderlands 1 almost looks the same. Like, Borderlands 2 has so much more environmental variety, it's crazy. Well, I mean, I don't dislike the vibe they have, dude. I just want variety. If all of your areas in your game look the same, then it all starts to blend together. Then this is where you have the village standoff later on. But I really like the way the sunlight comes through the trees here. Whenever I get to this part of the game, I always stop here and look around. I like seeing the fresh morning light come through the trees. Lake.
Lake's gotta be this way. Give me a break.
I was like this because you can shoot him off the bridge. Well, I mean, by default, yeah. I don't really like the type of game that Baldur's Gate is, so for me personally, Baldur's Gate wouldn't even have been on the list. I'm not a fan of the top-down, like, D&D rule set games. So just about any game that I liked in 2023 would have beat this, because I don't like the type of game that Baldur's Gate was. I mean, I'm fine with it, but, you know, like, I'm not really a fan of games with grid-based combat where you're dictating units, and I'm not really into the D&D rule set. And I don't even really like the top-down, super zoomed-out camera. So I'm just not a fan of that type of game. So, yeah, I would have put any game over this, but, dude, that's really hard. Because 2023 was a fucking stack year for gaming, man. Let's go over all the games that came out in 2023, for example. Hold on. You had the PS5 version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Monster Hunter Rise, which I've heard is really good. Forspoken, I really like Forspoken. I know a lot of people made fun of the game. Some of the dialogue is cringe, but it has one of the best magic systems in any game you'll ever play. Hi-Fi Rush, great game. The Dead Space remake, fucking amazing remake, came out January of 2023. I've sung his praises endlessly. One of the best remakes ever. Hold on. The Pathless came out of the port. Metroid Prime Remastered, which is a remake, but whatever. Really good. Came out in February. Hogwarts Legacy. Fucking amazing game. Really, even if you don't like Harry Potter, it's a damn good RPG. Super, super detailed open world that goes through all 4 seasons. Almost every building's innerable. There's tons of choices you make that shape the narrative. You can be a good wizard or a bad wizard. You can go to all 4 houses. Like, I fucking love Hogwarts Legacy. Even if you're not like crazy on Harry Potter, it's just a really good RPG with magic. Which, how many of those can you think of? But Hogwarts Legacy, huge fucking hit. Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart's really good. Like a Dragon Ishin, one of the best Like a Dragon games, so Yakuza games. Hold on. Tetris Effect Connected. I love Tetris Effect. Played hundreds of hours in it. Clive and Wrench, really great game. Octopath Traveler 2. Wolong Fallen Dynasty, really good game. Hold on. A lot of these are ports I'm going through. I don't care about fucking ports. Resident Evil 4 Remake, obviously we're playing this. That was March. Hold on. Ghostwire Tokyo came to Xbox. Got a bunch of new content. That's a great game, by the way. But not really counting that because it was a port. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Good game. Dead Island 2. Really good game. Actually managed to not be shit after being delayed for like 10 fucking years. Nobody will say, Dead Island 2 is the greatest game ever, but, considering the hugely bad development cycle went through, it's amazing the game actually wound up being good. They started it over no less than 4 times and changed studios like 5 times. Bramble the Mountain King, really good game. Jedi Survivor, also one of my favorite games of all time. We talked about this. I know you're not really a big fan of it, but it's my favorite Star Wars game ever, and I got the Platinum, so that came out in April. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, fucking awesome Zelda game, Skylands and all that shit, that was May. Lord of the Rings Gollum. That's not getting on the list. Amnesia the Bunker. Super great game. I've talked to you about it before. Amazing horror game. Arguably the best Amnesia game. World War I set in a bunker. It's fucking great. Diablo 4. Super great game. Aliens Dark Descent. I've heard that's a really good Aliens game. I played it a little bit, but I'm not one to judge. But I heard it's a really good multiplayer shooter. Final Fantasy 16, fucking awesome game. That was a Final Fantasy game made by the guys who did DMC. The combat for DMC. I highly recommend you play that if you get a chance. I just think you'd like the game, and you don't need to play any of the other games to jump into it. But it's like they got the guy who did the combat for DMC to make the combat in a Final Fantasy game. It's fucking sick. One of my favorite Final Fantasy. Now, obviously, it's highly debatable. Each Final Fantasy game is different, so it's subjective. But most people agree 16 is one of the best games in the series. And it was one of the first times they went back to medieval. They had not had a medieval Final Fantasy game in 20 years, since 2000 with FF9. So not only did they go to like real-time combat, but they went back to the classic high fantasy. And many people wanted the Final Fantasy to go back to medieval. And the game is set up almost like Game of Thrones. The whole game is like a political power play between all these warring kingdoms, and it's really good. You get in the nitty-gritty of all these kingdoms trying to fuck each other over and wage war for land. And the story goes beyond that, but I'm not going to spoil it. But so you have really great combat and like really cool like Game of Thrones style political intrigue of all these countries fighting each other for power. Sonic Origins Plus, that was a new edition, but it's really good. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, really good game. The remake of Destroy All Humans 2, that was kind of a port though. Hold on. Come on. Exoprimal, I've heard really good things about Exoprimal. Pikmin 4, I've heard good things about that. I need to play that one of these days. Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is fucking awesome. I really think you'd like it, Alex. It's like a Souls-like, and a looter shooter had a baby. It's like a Souls-like, but with guns. And you can play the whole game co-op. Yeah, AC Mirage, yeah. One of the better AC games. Obviously, you know, we could argue till the cows come home about which AC game is best, but most people would say that AC Mirage is one of the better ones. They asked for an old school AC game, and that's what they gave them. So it was a fan pleaser. Baldur's Gate 3, obviously. You just talked about that. Atlas Fallen, that's a pretty decent game. Quake 2 Enhanced Edition, that was a really good re-release with new content, so I'll count it. The PS4 version of Red Dead Redemption, that was a good port, but once again, that was a port. Immortals of Avium, actually, the Immortals of Avium is actually a pretty good game. It got kind of like shit on unfairly. Blasphemous 2, I love that. You're not really into them, but I'm a big fan of Metroidvanias, and that game is amazing. Sea of Stars, I love Sea of Stars. Starfield, oh shit, I can't believe I forgot about Starfield. Yeah, it finally came out on September 6th. We're still going. Liza P. God damn it, I love Liza P. You know that. I get rant endlessly how much I love Liza P. One of my favorite games of all time ever. My favorite Souls-like that's not made by From Software. That was September of 2023. Mortal Kombat 1. Stupid fucking name. But still a good game. I don't think anyone would say it's a bad game. Stupid name, but still a good game. We're actually due for a new Mortal Kombat soon. They usually release one every 4 years. Let me see. Cocoon, that was actually a good game. If you like puzzle games. Trepang 2. And console Scorn. Scorn is really good if you're into like disturbing visuals. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Little Gator game. It's a really fun game for kids. Dimension the Ward remaster, but that's a port. Lords of the Fallen. I've talked about before how I really like the new Lords of the Fallen. They're doing the sequel to that. It technically was a reboot, so it's the third Lords of the Fallen, but whatever. I played like 100 hours of that. That came out in October. The Slender the Arrival remake, really good. And I'm counting it because it's a remake of the Slender game. Total remake. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Obviously, I fucking love Spider-Man 2. We've talked about that endlessly. I love Spider-Man 2. One of my favorite games ever. Alan Wake 2. God damn, I love Alan Wake 2, man. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which that's a port, but still. RoboCop Rogue City, great game. I really like the RoboCop game. If you never played it, you really should. Star Ocean 2 remake, really good game. Modern Warfare 3, oh god, that's terrible. That's Teardown came to consoles, but I care less about that. Super Mario RPG remake, heard really good things about that. Obviously, the original game was fucking SNES, and they remade it for Switch. I can't comment unless I've actually played it myself. Well, I'm not gonna comment. I don't, comment on games that I don't personally play. I've heard it's good. Dustin said it's good, and I put a lot of stake in his opinion. So, yeah, and there's a couple more, but yeah, 2023 was a stacked fucking year, dude. It's actually really hard for me to decide what game I like the most in 2023. Because you have fucking Dead Space remake, I thought was amazing. You have this remake, fucking amazing. You have So you have Dead Space remake, fucking amazing. Resident Evil 4 remake, fucking amazing. Jedi Survivor, I really loved. Tears of the Kingdom, really great Zelda game. Spider-Man 2, I fucking love Spider-Man 2, got the Platinum, got it launched. Alan Wake 2, you haven't really seen me play Alan Wake 2, but I think Alan Wake 2 is literally one of the greatest games ever made, ever. And it still might be the prettiest game ever made. They were cooking. I don't know what they were fucking cooking with graphically, but goddamn Alan Wake 2 looked fucking amazing. Still some of the best lighting I think I've ever seen. Spider-Man 2, man. Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, obviously I can't, it's not for me, but I can't mention the year without mentioning Baldur's Gate 3. For most people, that was it. Hogwarts Legacy. I fucking love Hogwarts Legacy. And if you were a Harry Potter fan, it was your dream come true. So I'd have to think about what my favorite game was. It would probably either be Resident Evil 4 Remake. It would probably either be Resident Evil 4 Remake, Jedi Survivor, or Alan Wake 2, or Spider-Man. One of those four. It's weird because we seem to we have a pattern of on years and then slower years. 2023, super jam-packed fucking year for gaming, like we just went over. 2024 didn't have that many major game releases. There were some that were good. I'm not gonna say there weren't, but it was more of a slower year. But in 2025, crazy amount of releases. Again, last year, dude, was so packed. Stalker, 2 on PS5, which that's a port, but for me, that was where I got to play it. Stalker 2 on PS5, Ghost of Yotai, Death Stranding 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I really like Shadows. I know a lot of people don't. I really did. Silent Hill F was fucking phenomenal. There's a lot of good games. Although, you know, without a doubt, unquestioning for me, that's really easy. What's my favorite game for 2025? It's Death Stranding 2. Like, 2025 had a lot of good games, man, but goddamn, dude, Death Stranding 2 is just so fucking great. It's legitimately hard for me to think of any other game I would put on that level. I actually think, like, Death Stranding 2 might be one of my favorite games of all time ever. And I think it actually might be my favorite Kojima game. Like, that game was just so fucking great, dude. The story was fucking insane and had all kinds of twists and turns you didn't see coming that played up on the first game. It was one of the prettiest looking PS5 games I've ever played. Yeah, you mentioned that one. You'll seem to like that quite a bit. It ran incredibly good. Like, that game ran at like a full 60, and that was one of the prettiest PS5 games I've ever played. I was consistently amazed by how gorgeous Death Stranding 2 looked. And they, like, the first Death Stranding was good, but it was a rough draft. They had never made a game like Death Stranding. Even Kojima had never made a game like Death Stranding. So a lot of Death Stranding was figuring out what Death Stranding was. But with Death Stranding 2, they really just took everything good about the first game and dialed it up to 11, and then they fixed all the flaws. Like, I would probably give Death Stranding 2 like a 10 out of 10. I have very few complaints with that game, and they were very minor, the ones I do have. And like I said, that one boss fight with Neil in the fucking Day of the Dead, that has got to be one of my favorite boss fights in any game ever. That was fucking insane. Like, that, honestly, that's probably like on my top 10 gaming moments of all time ever. That whole fucking scene, man, in the city with fireworks had my jaw on the fucking floor. I mean, you were there when I did it. You were there when I played it, dude. Like, I've never played anything like that. And in every chapter, there's a hidden Clockwork Castilian. It's basically Salazar. I actually need to go back and get the Platinum Trophy. For Death Stranding 2 sometime. I did most of it. I just had a couple of like bases to get to the max connection level. And I put like 111 hours in the game. I just got burned out, but I do want to get the Platinum for Death Stranding 2. It's cool because you can actually see the castle. from the village. Even though we're not going to go there for quite some time. And this is where they also fuck around with your expectations a little bit. In the original game, you came in here and, you know, you found Louise in a cabinet. Like, you opened it, and then he dropped out, and that was the end of the chapter. Instead, you come to what you think is going to be the end of the chapter, and they kind of fake you out with an enemy. Because in the original game, you heard, like, the rumbling, and that was what it was Louise sitting there banging on the dresser.
What's that noise?
And instead, when you get here, there's a guy banging on the floorboard. So you're like, oh, this is not what I expected. They do a lot of that kind of... fuck with your expectations. I love this interaction that they have here. If I can hey, do if I can hold on a second. God, Nevin, if I don't look at the camera, it's not lack of interest or faith in you, it's just anxiety. And everything I'm allowed to say is rhetoric was for everything where he said that was God, Nevin, by what you mean, God, Nevin, and only God, Nevin, I go to sing for anyone else. God, Nevin, Jesus, please, as members and intentions, no thoughts, maybe for every right now, please. 1, please forgive me for doing sins of deals with this drink. Please do some deals, make safe drink, any words of concern, and 2, please do this short of so much right now. 3, please be okay. 4, please be okay. How about that? No. Okay, another my drink. I'm just paranoid. You got Nevin?
That hurts, you know?
Seemed like you really wanted to talk.
How observant, senor. Now, say, you got a smoke?
You know, those things will kill you.
Oh, well, maybe just untie me then, huh? Joder, not this guy!
Who are you? Yeah, stop right there!
God. And this is where Leon gets infected with Las Plagas! And also loses his jacket. And they make they try to end every chapter in this game on a cliffhanger. So see, that first chapter there, in the first game, that would have been chapter 1-1 and 1-2. But instead it's all chapter 1, because the chapters are much longer.
Sacrificial lamb, you will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
They also added some really cool shit in this scene. In the original game, you just are sitting there tied up with Louise, and then he hits you. The guy comes to Ganado. That's what they call the generic bad guys. Ganado comes, and he breaks your cuffs with an axe. And then he dies. They made this scene much more involved in the remake.
Oh, what the fuck? Hey, stop it. Hey, Yankee. Got a name?
Leon.
Quiet type, eh? I'm Luis Serra. Guess you, me,
Picked the wrongest spot to vacation, eh? Stop it! You move, I move. And I'm beat up enough as it is. I can see you're thinking. Bet you've been in spots like this before, huh? I guess you're here looking for someone. One more guess. Maybe some innocent señorita?
Young girl? Talk. Now.
Great. See, heard chatter about moving a señorita.
Moving her. Where?
Who knows? But later, saw some men dragging someone to the old church. Hanging with you, not helpful.
And see, so like before they were literally just handcuffed, and then the guy comes and breaks the cuffs. Now they're like chained to the ceiling, and there's a scene where he pulls it down. He like interrogates Louise, fucking yanks him with the chain, then they whip that fucking guy in the face, then wrap it around his neck before Leon fucking snaps his neck with the chain. It is a really cool scene. Once again, where they take something simple in the original game and they kick it up a notch.
Hey, we're not done here!
Later, amigo.
And now Leon's got his look he's going to have for most of the game. And it's kind of funny, too, because in both the separate ways in the original game and the remake, you actually find a Ganado wearing Leon's jacket. He took Leon's jacket, and Ada kills him. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, is he wearing Leon's jacket?
I took my gear.
Like, wow, even the Los Plagas think that jacket was sick!
Condor 1 to Roost. I've located Baby Eagle. It sounds like she's being kept in some church.
Great. That's good news.
I heard it from this guy I met. Said his name is Luis Serra. There's something fishy.
They also took all the conversations with Hunnigan, and before the game would stop in the original game, and it'll make you listen to the conversation like you'd see it in a separate menu. Now it happens while you're playing the game. But the thing's cool. You can move around.
We'll call Condor 1. I'll see what I can find. In the meantime, make your way to that church.
Right. I'm probably due for confession anyway. Condor 1, out.
This is the old abandoned steel mill. It's kind of where the game gives you the tutorial about the knife stuff. Well, if you hadn't already been doing it like I was the entire time.
Hey, that's my gear.
Ah, shit. Really, asshole?
I'll be taking... He's back.
Now we meet everybody's favorite merchant.
Over here, stranger.
Over here, stranger.
Who's that?
Breaks over, I suppose. Oh, they did such a good job with the merchant in the remake. And see, now that a couple hours have passed and then pass out, now it's mid-afternoon. It's still bright out, but it's not, you know, fresh sun.
Let's do some business then, eh?
Yeah, see, here's a side quest to go back into the factory and kill 3 rats. It's one of the side quests that's a little bit fetch questy, but most of them are actually really good. And there's actually a lore reason why he wants you to do it. They're infected with the plague. With the Las Plagas. So you're actually help getting rid of troublesome pests.
Yes. Took care of her request, did ya? I can tell by the look on your face. Welcome. I knew I could count on you. Got some rare things on sale, stranger. You're valuable, thank you. Anything else I can help you with?
Get a treasure map for the village.
Soft spot for treasure, eh?
That shows you where all the treasure locations are. And then I'm gonna get all the stuff. You have enough to get all the laser stuff. You have enough to get all the merchant stuff if you do all the side quests. But I'm gonna save up till I get the laser sight.
Still have some new items you might be interested in.
First things first, I'm gonna buy the case upgrade.
You a bit more space never hurt anyone. Perfect size for you, stranger. Come back anytime.
And see, now I've got a lot more room. You know, if right now I'll keep. And they also added an auto sort item to the inventory if you just wanted to do it for you. It's actually pretty good too, but I'm kind of OCD, so well, I mean I'm literally OCD, so I like to do it myself. Fuck.
Welcome. Well,
Prepare my knife.
what easy work. Wish your enemies sweet dreams from afar, with a bullet straight through their heads.
And originally,
This as well.
originally you had to buy the scope separately. And then
What you see is what I've got.
now they give it to you for free.
All yours, stranger. Don't get...
I think it's cool. And they also added a feature where you can actually look through the rifle without a scope on it. And I actually really like that feature. It makes it much more useful for close-up.
The hell am I?
Puedes correr. ¡Agarradlo!
Now you get to the valley. You get to actually put the sniper to the test. Let's see if I still got it sniper-wise.
All right.
Well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. Really, asshole? Seriously? You also want to be careful, because you can actually blow out this bridge. If too many explosions come, this bridge will permanently be blown out. You can still get around and get everything in the area, but it makes it harder. That opens the way back out. Shit. Suplex! There's a small key here. There's a hidden treasure right there. Really? Oh shit.
Sorry, must have slipped. You son of a bitch.
te puedes esconder. Sí. Ahí. No me
Break already. Damn it.
Yeah.
Take a look. Something's bound to catch your eye. Why not treat yourself, mate? Welcome. Ooh, well, good luck to you, stranger. I'll buy almost anything.
All right, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in a little bit. Thank you for watching.